Now, membership is a very potential and a powerful weapon or an identity. By getting the qualification of shares, you become a member, just like signing the Memorandum of Association. Shares are transferable in nature, and at any given point of time, shares can be transferred from one person to another person. Membership is given on invitation. Membership is given on certain factors through which you can become a member, through which you can develop that acquaintance. Good morning and welcome to the first session of Unit 4, and we are going to talk about in Companies Act the membership. How are you going to become a member of a company? It's quite interesting journey. Why? Because everybody in our life would definitely want to become a member of some organization, some institution or entity. But then, is membership getting it? Is it so easy? Is it that road clear enough for all of us that we could become members of the organization? Let's have a look into it. Now, what is the exact meaning of membership all about is when you become a permanent entity of an organization. So what is the method that we have with us in order to become the member of an organization? These are the following methods: by subscribing to the memorandum, by qualification of shares, by application and allotment, by transfer of membership, transmission of the membership, by estoppel. Of course, we are going to look into each and every one of them in detail. But before we start getting into the factors of what membership really means to you, let's first try to understand the ideology of membership. Now, membership is a very potential and a powerful weapon, or an identity rather, I would say, that has been bestowed upon you, because you will be able to get this membership not so easily. And once you become a member of an organization, a founding member, or by signing up the memorandum of that organization, automatically you will have the rights and power to control each and every action, and every decision that is made in the organization needs your consent. So I would always say that membership is a very powerful tool, and it cannot be given to each and everybody. Membership has to be given over a period of time by following certain rules, by following certain norms altogether. Now, moving forward, let's first try to understand the membership that can be obtained by subscribing to the Memorandum of Association. Now, the first thing is that when you start subscribing to the Memorandum of Association, the subscriber are deemed to have agreed to become a member, and on registration of the company, their names will be entered as members on register of the members. Now, what is this big factor all about is that now when the company is founding and it's in the stage when they are creating the Memorandum of Association, so you go ahead, agree to the Memorandum of Association, and you sign up your name voluntarily, agreeing to that Memorandum of Association terms and condition, then automatically your name gets registered upon the registration of the company as a member in their role. So this is one of the most vital and an important step, which I would say. And of course, this is the first and the premier method of getting yourself entrusted as a member of the company. So when you sign on the Memorandum of Association, you understand and you agree upon the fact all the terms and conditions, all the objectives, the rules that have been set by the organization, and you believe that you are going to be an entitled part of the organization. So you believe that, yes, I want to continue as a member. So you go ahead and sign it across saying that I agree, and hence upon the registration, automatically your name comes into the register of the members, followed by by agreeing to take the qualification of shares. Now, when you start looking into this factor, according to section 266, directors of the company on delivering to registrar a written undertaking to take their qualification shares and to pay for them become the members of the company, and they are in the same position as they are the subscribers of memorandum. According to the company law, section 266, this is a very, very important section. Why? Because in this section, you go ahead and say that if you are a director, you are ready to subscribe to the shares and you are ready to pay for them. So you become a qualified member by taking upon those shares and ready to pay for the value of the shares. And then you say that, yes, I agree to become the member of the organization. So by getting the qualification of shares, you become a member, just like signing the memorandum of association. So this is also one of the most important steps that you can see in any organization, where people have been bestowed, have been given upon the fact that yes, you can take the qualification of a director of shares by providing them the n number of shares, the required amount of shares, and you need to pay for it. Once you are ready to pay for it and agree to the terms and conditions, you will also become the member of the company. So these are all the factors, these are all the options that are available for you in order to become the member of the organization. Now, is it possible that as an individual will I also get it? Not definitely. Why? Because unless and until you subscribe through the channel and you get an opportunity to become a founding member part, where you have an opportunity to sign on the memorandum or you have an opportunity to take over the shares by paying them, you don't get a standing chance to become a member that easily. Followed by the transfer of shares. Now, is this a very, very easier method? The answer is yes. Why? Because in case if somebody is willing to transfer the shares to somebody else in terms of the membership, then automatically the other person gains that membership. Let's have a look into it. Shares in a company are movable property and are transferable in the same way as provided in the Articles of Association. So we firmly believe on this factor that shares are transferable in nature, and at any given point of time, shares can be transferred from one person to another person. So once the shares are being transferred, then automatically the person who starts owning it, the person who starts possessing it, gets the right in terms of the shares. That is the transfer of share that happens automatically. On the registrar of the transfer, that's the transferee becomes the member of the company. Now, this is very, very important. Why? Because once the person gets the transfer of shares into his name, then automatically there is a factor, there is a level at which you will be able to see that we are able to get the possession of membership under his control, and then we will be able to take forward in terms of growth, in terms of the opportunity as a member. So somebody can nominate saying that I am ready to transfer my shares to this concerned person, and automatically by getting on to that shares in his name transferred, the concerned person can become the member of the company. So shares are definitely a transferable, a movable property as per the Articles of Association. Now, moving forward, we will also talk about by the application of an allotment of shares. A person may become a member of company by application of shares to the formal acceptance of the company. On a valid allotment, the name of the shareholder is entered into register of members. This is the very, very common mode of how a person tends to become a member of a company. Now, what is this? Is that when you start registering your name for an IPO, let's say that now there is an IPO coming up for, let's say, Cremica Foods Limited, or for IRCTC, or if you would have seen Burger King, all these kind of companies, when they list out their IPO altogether, and if you are interested to subscribe for the share, you can go ahead and subscribe through the IPO. Once you have subscribed for them, the company will send a formal acceptance letter upon the allotment of shares in your name, saying that yes, are you willing to become a member, and if you formally accept for that role, then you become the member of that particular company. The name of the shareholder will be registered in the members of the company. This is done purely on the formal acceptance of the shareholder, and the company has to invite you to become a member. It is not directly just because I have subscribed for the number of shares I would become a member. Definitely not. It is only by the factor that the company gives an invitation to you saying that if you want to take over membership of this company, then yes, they would give you the rights, they would give you the honor altogether, and you become the member of the company. Moving forward, let's also talk by the factor called as by succession. Now, what is succession is that on the basis of the succession certificate, the legal heirs of the deceased member shareholders get the right to become the member of the company. Now, for example, in case of anybody in the family, after they take over on the succession mode altogether, they say that after my time, it will be taken over by my son, by my daughter, or my relative altogether. So then what happened? Because of the legal hire factor that is coming into picture, that person becomes the member of the organization. So after grandfather, it is father, then it moves on to the son. So we are talking about the legal hire and the succession happening on the regular basis. So this is what we mean by succession, where you take over the membership into the control altogether. So that is very, very important. The company on this basis enters their name into the register of members. So once that succession is being done completely, the company would thereby take over the names into the registrar of that book altogether, where they will say that going forward your name will be registered as a member to the company. Now, by estoppel or by acquiescence, this is one of the very, very important thing. A person who knowingly permits entering his name in the register of member becomes a member by estoppel or by acquiescence. That is, when he formally knows through his knowledge, through his content, when he agrees that yes, I am allowing myself under full conscience of my knowledge that yes, I want to become a member of the company, then automatically his name will be registered under the members of the company's list. Now, why is this membership becomes important here is that sometimes what happens is that by knowingly or unknowingly, you get the rights and the power to nominate yourself into a membership where you can have a controlling power, a decision power altogether. Now, member is not something that is like, given up at a free cost. It comes with a lot of formalities where you have to sign through the documents, the Memorandum of Association, where you have to go through the files, where you have to go through each and every document which makes you understand about the company clearly. Many times what people tend to understand here is that membership is just like given a free rights altogether. But the fact remains that membership is never given as a free rights to anybody. Membership is never given to anybody as a part of the documentation just like that. Membership is given on invitation. Membership is given on certain factors through which you can become a member, through which you can develop that acquaintance altogether. So, membership is a very big honor that has been provided to you. It's an opportunity that has been provided to you by the company so that you understand what are your duties, what are your powers, and how you need to take it so that in the long run, you are able to understand the working of the organization. With this, I come to the conclusion of this session. I hope and believe that the session was highly helpful and resourceful in nature. All the concepts that have been told about the membership will be of a great help to you in terms of concepts and also in terms of the practical knowledge. In the upcoming sessions, we are going to talk about the various factors of this membership, the rights and duties of the company secretary, and how the meetings and other factors are going to play an important role in the company law. Until then, stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay enlightened forever. Thank you once again for joining me on this wonderful session. Have a great day.